Alright, so Persona 3 Reload is coming out in about a month, and I just wanted to talk about some of the changes I'd like to see in terms of gameplay. Now that we live in a post-Royal Atlas RPG world, a lot of their bells and whistles are going to carry over no matter what. That's what they do with all their games. So there's a pretty good chance that at least some of these things I'm about to talk about are going to happen. Royal did a lot of good things for the state of the series. I thought a lot of the mechanics it introduced were really fun, but there are also some things that I think could probably get left behind. Maybe some things from older games that we could maybe re-implement into the remake. I haven't been meticulously looking through every single trailer for the game, but there are some gameplay additions that I am aware of. I think they did show Baton Pass in one of the trailers. I'm generally thinking that most of the quality of life stuff is going to happen, but just want to talk about some of this stuff. So first, I want to go with Baton Pass, which I just mentioned. Baton Pass is definitely one of the better mechanics introduced in 5. Part of the reason why P5's battle system was as fun as it was because Baton Pass really added a lot of extra depth to the gameplay. While it may seem like on the surface you were just giving somebody your turn, it was really so much more than that. In a lot of other RPGs, even in older Persona games and older SMT games, you would get a hit and then maybe you hit the weakness. Well, the whole thing is that you're getting a one more, you're getting another turn. But if you don't have a way to hit another weakness or do something else, it's kind of oh well, I guess I'll just do a little bit of damage. And since the game started removing the dizzy mechanic, which would have kind of mitigated that somewhat, they kind of had to do something different. So what they went with was, let's add Baton Pass where you can just give your turn to somebody else. And some of the fun that came with P5 was just chaining these baton passes in between your characters, which helped out a lot because you started getting additional bonuses once you leveled up your baton passes. So I think one of them was you give people SP, they do more damage on the next hit. They even added certain skills that did more damage if you did a baton pass, which led to really funny things with characters like Yusuke. So I think implementing this into 3 would be really cool. With my only caveat really being that if you do something like this, you kind of necessitate the game being a little bit more difficult, because you are essentially giving people the ability to just end their own turn and just make a super buff character take a turn, which will usually hit a weakness or something like that. And God forbid you make the protagonist do that, in which case you're probably gonna end the battle right there. But I do think that maybe increasing the difficulty to kind of balance around this would be cool. That way, you could kind of make this more of a mainstay feature where it's yeah, if you want to do better in some of your fights that you're struggling with, well, let you learn how to use Baton Pass a little better and maybe build a character around this mechanic. So yeah, I think in general, this is going to be a pretty cool thing to have in 3. It just has to be a little balanced around. Next, I want to talk about something that I don't really see a lot of people talking about, but I somewhat feel strongly on, which are the navigators. I think the navigators are really cool concepts for characters, essentially having a whole party member whose entire role is to just help you and give you little passive increases. I think that's really cool. I think they have really nice abilities that really help make the game more tolerable, because at some point in all these games you are just going to be at a point where you're just trying to get through the content so you can continue the plot. Because that's just the way that RPGs are, and I'm okay with that. I think of things like Fuka giving you a little bit of health every time you go up a floor in Tartarus. That's a really good thing. Or Futaba and Rise giving you a little bit of SP after finishing a fight. That's helpful. I want them to stick with things like that. But something that I kind of want them to maybe shift away from is your navigators just randomly giving you giga buffs. Things like them giving you Sakukaja, that's fine. I don't really have a problem with that. Or them giving you a little bit of health, that's okay. Them giving you some SP, that's really nice. But in longer boss fights, I do think it kind of diminishes the challenge of it when you're just playing the boss fight and then suddenly you hear super move, ultra charge, and then you get what? You get a concentrate and you get a power charge on all of your characters. It's a little bit excessive. I don't know how I really feel about that. It's nice when it happens and you're oh cool, I just saved a turn, this character really helped me a lot. But at the same time, it's doesn't that in a way kind of reduce the point of a boss fight when multiple times in the fight you'll just get buffs, or you'll get a giga buff like I just said, And even like smaller things like, oh, you'll just get like a Ma Rakukaja. That's just like, that's a free turn that like now you don't have to think about. I don't know. In moderation, I think it's fine, but I think it's more of a problem when you're getting that multiple times in a somewhat longer boss fight. I don't know. Next, I want to move over to talking about something a little bit more positive. I want to start with technical. I thought technical, just all in all, pretty cool mechanic. I thought it made the game like way more dynamic, giving you a reason to actually use status effects was pretty fun. Giving you a little bonus when like sometimes your like Zio would like shock them and they would lose a turn. Like that's all really cool. I want them to keep up with that. Like maybe make it like a bit more like a viable gameplay choice. That's not just and then I used this move that hit all their weaknesses and then I did an all-out attack. Like it just made the game way more fun. Next, Dizzy State would be something I would think that could come back. It was really cool in the older games where it was like, if you don't have the ability to say, kill the enemy after you hit their weakness, you can hit them again, and then they'll be dizzied so they'll lose another turn. Like, that's really cool. I really like that. I would even be fine with it coming back as more of a negative mechanic for the player. I always thought that it was like, it was frustrating, but it still made the game feel like I'm actually in a fight where I need to worry about somebody being knocked down. Other than, oh, they're going to take some damage. Traits was a really good addition to Royal. Probably my favorite addition to that game. I think like the whole trait system is really cool. It added a lot of depth to the fusion system in a way that I really didn't think about. Especially by the end where you're getting like really cool, like almost like persona defying traits, and it really made me go, maybe I don't want to fuse this persona away. Because this trait is like really good and this build on this persona is really good. I think anything that makes you think like that is a really good system. Moving on, weapon modding. Another cool part of 5 that didn't really get that much time with Limelight, but weapon modding is like really interesting and I would want them to like maybe shift more that direction. I think they did it with the guns and it was really cool because it's like, oh yeah, you can give this like a chance to shock. And like the series has always had weapons like that did something like that. But I think if you like made it more of an active mechanic that's not just, oh, I got it from a chest, and like actually let you like mod what your weapons or maybe your armor even are doing, I think that could be like a really cool thing for the game. Keeping up with the positives and things I want to see come back, I think the super bosses, something they really did well on. Well, first of all, by the end of Royal, I want to say, I think the bosses were like, they had really cool ideas. They just were kind of unfortunate with how you can become really powerful, like the spoilers final boss of that game. Even though it was really fun and was really well done, there are certainly like very easy ways of like doing way too much damage to it. So I always do like seeing like the super bosses, like the twins. Lavenza was really cool. Oh, and obviously we're gonna get like, oh, the Reaper, oh, Elizabeth as super bosses. But I also want to see other stuff. Like, in Royal we had Jose. That was really cool. We had the 2 protagonist fights. That's really cool. I'd want to see them try to do something like that again. Maybe add a little bit more. This is like a super pipeline wish, but something I always thought would be cool was, oh, well, we have the protagonist you can fight, but you're like fighting them all at once with your whole party. What if we did something like maybe forced one-on-ones with like different like stats or something like that, or maybe maybe you fight the whole party with your party. We could see something cool like that. I don't know, just something to add a little bit more extra content after you beat the game once, or maybe even just something for hardcore players who just want to get more out of the game. I think it's just strictly upside. They did really well with it in Royal, so I'd like to see it again. Another thing that I super duper think that they need to change is social link abilities. So P5 had a really cool idea where they said, let's design the social links to not only give you more progress towards that Arcana, but let's also make it so every couple of ranks you get a nice ability from them. Which is cool. I think that's a really good change, and I think that's something that I would like to see them kind of put into other games. My problem being is that, A, when you give every social link a certain amount of abilities, inevitably one is going to have better abilities than the other, so it stops being that you're going to hang out with this person because you like them, and then it can become, I'm going to hang out with this person because this person has all of these. My main example, Mishima is one of the most disliked characters in Persona 5, and yet, for no reason at all, he has all of the XP abilities, and it's just like, nobody wants to hang out with that character. Like, nobody enjoys spending time with him. He's really not that good of a character, and he's just not fun. Like, there's nothing about him that's fun or interesting, but for some reason, he has, like, a bunch of these abilities that you would really want, like giving your background party XP and things like that. Like, that's really important, and really cuts down on grinding. But I have to hang out with Mishima. And I'm not saying, oh, give Mishima all the bad abilities. I'm saying that the abilities should be equally divided. Another one, Chihaya, I don't really have that big of an opinion on her. But why does Chihaya have the ability that gives you more money during baton passes? Or no, she gives you more damage during baton passes, I believe. And then she gives you more money from all-out attacks. And then she has the ability to deepen a social link for you for free, which is usually something you have to do at a shrine. It costs no time, and you can do it literally every day. It's just like, that seems a little strong, yeah. And then there's like cool ones that I think are really good, like EYE. I can see why like all of his would have something to do with his shop, and the same with Takemi. But at the same time, it's like, why do we have things like that? And then we have Oya, who might as well not have social link abilities, because all they do are things like, we're gonna reduce the security level, something that I don't think anybody has ever had an issue with in the history of the world existing. So yeah, I think if they just maybe distribute it a little better, it could be cool. And obviously, I know there's gonna be a point where there's gonna be one that has the best abilities, but I would like it to be more of a conversation of, oh, why did you do that other than you like them? Oh, well, they have this. Oh, but you're not getting this. Oh, but I can get, that'll be fine. I don't need that. And also, I get to hang out with this character I like. I think that could be cool. Alright, let's see if I can blaze through a few more of these. Shuffle time. Shuffle time is like the most fun mechanic in this series, other than fusion. Shuffle time is specifically 4. That was peak fiction. They need to keep doing that. I don't really have a problem with demon negotiation. I think it was really fun in 5. And 3's shuffle time isn't bad. I just think it was really fun, like going, oh, we're gonna give you these choices, and if you somehow manage to pick up all the cards, then you'll get a guaranteed shuffle time next time. And yeah, it did lead to situations where you could just get broken because there was like a card that I believe leveled your persona up, when personas are like kind of a pain to level up at some point in the game. Or my favorite one, will just make one of your abilities go up by a tier, so you could theoretically get like a Bufudine in the first dungeon. That's like still fun though. Or maybe like getting a free skill card, that's nice. Getting some XP, getting some health, that's nice. Like, it just adds more variety to the game, which is all you can really ask for in an RPG like this. Next, let's just say it. P5, specifically Royal, best Velvet Room. Let's take pretty much all of those bells and whistles that you can realistically bring over, just bring them over. Like things like leveling a persona by sacrificing another one. That's cool, we can do that. Locking them down, giving them resistances. Not everybody used that a lot. It's nice. Turning a persona into an item. That's nice. Let's just take all that. Let's bring it over. It was really good. Let's see, what else do I have? This is more of a 3 exclusive thing. Kind of want to see them flesh out some of the full moon events a little bit more. Like, usually these are points where you get like a little bit of lore, or you get like plot. These are where the game actually starts progressing its plot. I really like that. But I want to see them, like, in a gameplay sense, maybe add a little bit more. Like, a couple of them are more than just, oh, we came here and then we fought a boss. Like, I think of like the Love Hotel. That was a little neat thing. Maybe making them mini dungeons, or when Strega locks you. I think it was in a basement, and then you fight a boss there. Like, those are cool little things. Like, I would just want to see them maybe expand on that a little bit more. This is a super small thing. In P5, there were just places that you could go to give you extra stats. Like, it's really weird to explain it. Like, if you went in the underground walkway, you could talk to this NPC, and what she would do is that It was specifically on Sundays, but when you talk to them, they'll give you a drink, and the drink will give you like a stat. And it was like really small, but it's just like you have all these stats to get. Like just having a way to like, oh, I explored the game, I can get this now that I know that. That's cool. It like really adds to the life sim aspect of the game. Removing matching Arcana for Essence. So if you're unfamiliar, your social links all have a specific Arcana, and you get points for them to like level up their social link. Now, I don't know about anybody else. The concept of going to spend time with somebody but you're not ranking up their social link is really annoying, and one of the causes of that can be I didn't have a matching Arcana. So if you don't have a persona of the matching Arcana, you don't get like some of the points, which can in the long run kind of hurt you, which would be a fine thing. That's not necessarily a problem. The problem is when, oh, I don't have this thing, okay, let me go fast travel to the Velvet Room, and then you have to watch that load screen, and then you have to enter the Velvet Room and watch that load screen, and then you have to buy the persona, and then you have to leave, and then you have to go back to talk to the person. And it's just like, let's not do that. Like, it sounds really small, but if you have to do that more than once, and God forbid you have to get rid of a persona in order to make space, it's just like, I kind of wish this was either gone, or maybe while you're talking to the person you could just get the persona there, but that's like super not gonna happen. So I don't know how they could remedy this, but it's just a little annoying. I'm fine with things like, oh, I have to answer them correctly, like that makes sense. Like nobody would want to like reasonably hang out with you if you were talking to them and you just went, oh, well actually you're a loser and nothing you do in your life will ever mean anything. Like obviously I'm not expecting to get a rank up from that, but at the same time it's like, maybe don't make me have to go to the Velvet Room every 3 seconds. As cool as the Velvet Room is. Another thing, this was something that I don't know how they would re-implement this. Specifically Shinya, who is the little kid with the Get Smoked hat who teaches you how to play Fortnite. He gives you this ability that lets you instantly down an enemy, but you only get it, I think, when upgraded 3 times per entering a persona space, and it was the metaverse in 5, but I guess it would be the Dark Hour in 3. If we could somehow implement that would be really cool. It was just a nice little like quality of life thing and felt like a good reward for doing a social link. Reading on the train, this is just a way to get more social stats, and it would make sense in 3 because you're going on a train to get to your school every day. So I don't see why we couldn't implement this again. Another way to get all your party members to have XP, because one of the issues that I have with 3 personally is that you obviously only have 4 people in your party, including yourself, so you only bring 3 people with you, and there's like all these characters, so it's like, oh well, inevitably if I want everybody to be caught up I have to like take people out and then switch them, and it's like, that'll be fine, but just more ways of having everybody get XP would be cool. They kind of, I'm gonna say somewhat, make it a little bit like they're forcing you to do it by making people get tired, which is a cool indirect way of both tying into the plot and also like making you want to use different party members. But I don't know, just more ways of having everybody get XP is nice. This is like a super quality of life thing, and I think it's the last thing on my list. Oh no, I have one more. Well, first I'll say this, switching party members in battle. Yes, this is a good thing. Maybe make it like cost something. Like a turn is usually what I propose, and maybe make it so that you can't do it to people who have like status effects on them or something like that. But it's cool. It makes some boss fights a little bit easier, and it could really help out, especially during that final boss fight. It could be a really cool way of like showing everybody with working together. Maybe we could balance the game around that a little bit more. But yeah, I don't see a reason why we couldn't add this. And let's see what else I have. Oh, one that I was just thinking about, I was spitballing this for a while, was maybe making it so that when you equip a DLC fit, you don't necessarily have to listen to that music. Maybe make it like an independent slider of what you want to listen to. In, I want to say Scramble, you have the option of picking what battle theme you get, which is nice. Maybe making that like a different feature than switching your fit. So for example, if you put on the Joker fit in 3, I don't necessarily want to listen to Last Surprise or Takeover. Maybe I just want to wear the Joker fit. Something really small. It's not really going to hurt my enjoyment if they change that or not. But yeah, I think that's it. Those were just like some of the things that I think in a gameplay sense would be really cool additions, or like things that they could like switch up to make 3 a more fun RPG. I think they're probably going to do a pretty good job. Atlas is usually pretty decent when it comes to remakes and re-releases, so I have no doubt this game is going to be pretty good. If anybody has any questions or things that they are interested in seeing or be changed, and I'm really interested in hearing it. I want to see like more discourse on this game other than hopefully they change the ending. So other than that, thanks for watching.